So, are we recording?
Yeah, we're you. Whenever.
All right. So, what do you think? You want to? We both preached yesterday, and you want to start us off today, or what?
That's usually how we decide who's going to host the guy who did not preach. So, what should we do?
I don't know. Should we have a designated, like a what do they call this? An avatar, like a leading of the show avatar person who takes over?
That's a creative idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you created an avatar on your like your Facebook? You know how you turn yourself into a cartoon character? You got like I see people do that, and then they have their little avatar always doing a thumbs up type of thing.
I have not, but following your stream of consciousness is a joy of my week on this show. Whatever Bob's mind is doing is always very interesting adventure.
All right. So, but how should we do the tiebreaker? What about?
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I don't know.
What do you want to do?
Noah's back from vacation. Maybe we should have Noah ask us
Welcome
questions
back.
today.
Thank
Look,
you.
There he is.
Good to
Look
be
at
back.
you guys. All right.
Thank you.
Can you give us this week on Behind the Pulpit and like
Look
stare
right into the camera?
Look at the
Noah.
camera and point.
You've never done it.
This week in Behind the Pulpit.
Oh, he said in again.
Okay, well, hey, Pastor Dave, how are you doing this week? How was
Hey.
are you getting ready for Thanksgiving? And Thanksgiving is coming up around the corner.
Bro, my weekend was so filled with what we call the honeydew list. So
Okay. This is like the pre-Thanksgiving warm-up.
Yeah, we always host, and it's important that we present our house properly. So things get neglected, and I get busy. So there was some stuff to do.
Well, actually, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? Give me some examples.
Okay.
What's an example of your honeydew?
Okay. Well, Julie said there's some recessed lighting. That's
Does Julie make a chart to tell you what to do?
It's more like a list. It's.
Do you turn it into a chart then?
I don't. I just do it. Recessed lighting needed to be like fixed and cleaned. We have these blinds that get dusty, and I don't dust them. So that was
It's
huge.
that granular, huh?
It was. They were so like in the kitchen when you're cooking and you create like grease in the atmosphere. It just rests on the blinds all year.
Okay.
So it meant taking like the blinds off and then bringing them onto the patio and like squirting them with Fantastic and then like using.
You didn't just like use your finger and then
Oh,
try
no,
and
it
taste
wouldn't
and
work.
guess what it was.
I mean, it was each
tastes
of
like bacon right now.
Each set of blinds was like a 30-minute thing. And so that was fun.
Wow.
There was some air conditioning, ventilation things, a lot of little things to fix up around the house.
Well,
exciting,
maybe
huh?
This
show's
it's so
off to
exciting.
a
I'm ready to move
roaring
on. So,
start.
if you're at home and you're watching this, you
Dave,
can like write in
who
the comment
cares?
section what's on your honeydew list as you get ready for Thanksgiving. So you guys host. You guys host
Yeah,
for Thanksgiving.
we do.
What's on the menu for Thanksgiving at the Henschel house?
On the counter are a lot of ingredients I've
Turkey.
seen.
You guys go turkey?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
And we also did a very large turkey. We went Friday night to do a 21-pounder. And we started thawing it on Friday night. Think about that.
Like a couple nights
we started
ago
thawing
for
it.
next
So
Thursday.
If you're watching and you haven't started thawing, it's
Forget
already
it.
like you might as well have ham or something. It's too late. You're going to have a frozen turkey on Thursday morning. So depending upon the size of the turkey, you really need to start thawing early. We also got an additional like breast we're going to cook too.
So you had a
It's
whole turkey
large
plus
gathering.
a breast.
Yeah.
Wow.
We are expecting a big crowd. My brother-in-law has some family in town from Zimbabwe coming. It's going to be great. So we usually do the normal types of fixins. I know you love cranberry sauce. Julie makes this amazing
do like cranberry sauce.
Cranberry, we call it the cranberry crack in our house. It's like really sweet and really good. So that stuff's awesome.
Very good.
My nephew Dominic does cake balls for the dessert.
We had talked about the cake balls last year, right?
Dominic, bro. You're amazing.
Dude, he got a point.
Yeah.
Dominic got the point.
What are you guys having? What do you guys
I don't know. This year we're going to my mom's place. My sister really wanted to make Thanksgiving dinner this year, so I'm going to be surprised. I don't even know. We're just going to go and see what happens.
It may or may not be turkey.
It probably involves turkey, but I don't know what else will be involved. Probably all the normal stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't say for certain until we go.
Speaking of normal, my nephew Benjamin's mom is here from Zimbabwe. We were visiting with her. They don't do Thanksgiving in Zimbabwe or pretty much any other country besides the United States of America.
Right.
So it's kind of uniquely
the Pilgrims
American
didn't
thing.
visit their country.
No.
The Canadians do it, but their Thanksgiving
Why
is
do Canadians do it?
It's in
Why
September.
do they do it?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a different date.
They do it. It was our Veterans Day, I believe. No. It was Columbus Day. Columbus Day is Canadian Thanksgiving.
So George Washington, when he would win battles, would dedicate days of Thanksgiving back in the day, and then that was sort of the beginnings of Thanksgiving in our country, and he eventually, I think, declared one day a national day of Thanksgiving.
It was George Washington or Abraham Lincoln?
So then Lincoln came along after the Civil War and had his famous Thanksgiving Day proclamation, and that was a day to be thankful to God for his blessings. Let's remember what Thanksgiving is. We're not thanking like the Native Americans. We're thanking God for his blessings upon our nation.
And you had the proclamation straight up that you wanted to read, right?
Well, I was looking at it. It's really long, so I don't
Could
think...
you read? Is there a shorter preamble that we can
give you
read?
the preamble. Ready?
Let's do the preamble.
This one's from Lincoln, October 3rd, 1863.
Noah's falling asleep over there, so you got to do it with some gusto.
The year that is drawing toward its close has been filled with the blessings of fruitful fields and healthful skies. To these bounties,
could you
which
right
are
now
so...
shave off your mustache so you could have the Lincoln beard while you're doing this?
That'd be awesome. To these bounties we are so constantly enjoyed that we are prone to forget the source from which they come. Others have been added which are so extraordinary a nature that they cannot fail to penetrate and soften even the heart which is habitually insensible to the ever-watchful providence of Almighty God. So, Lincoln goes on to...
This is how they wrote things back in the 1800s. We've sort of lost that. Nowadays, like, put it in 21st century 2024 language. Yo, thanks God, let's eat.
Yeah, it's a little different
like that
today. So, Thanksgiving.
There you go.
Here we go.
I hope you have a wonderful, healthy holiday, and that concludes the beginning of our show as we start. We got a round of applause over there. All right, I think it's time to move on to the In the News segment. Tim, what do you think? Let's go. In the News. All right, so many things happening in the news. We just can't keep up. In fact, Pastor Dave was making fun of me because apparently I'm sending him news stories every other day.
Twice a day,
Twice.
At least.
I send you things that I find interesting, and there it goes. And
They're
then
always
send me
good.
things back. They are.
But you were asking me, like, what was that story I sent you? I'm like, bro.
I know. I don't categorize them in a chart later on. I just kind of send, and then I go back, and if they're not in the text messages, I forgot.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so I think there was a story we wanted to talk about. So obviously the election is done. We covered that. Did we cover that last time or 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. And hard to believe it's been like 2.5 weeks, and President Trump has already, in record time, put together his cabinet. His whole cabinet's been put out there.
Is he done?
He's done. He apparently.
That's it?
I was reading that he was just he kept putting out person after person, so each person didn't get too much scrutiny. Other than Matt Gaetz, I guess he's already resigned, and he's got another attorney general pick put out there.
Withdrew his nomination, right?
Right? Is that what it is? The technical term? He withdrew.
I think there were some serious allegations that probably would have prevented him from getting
He wasn't getting through.
affirmed by the Senate.
Wasn't happening.
Yeah.
Anyway, but over the weekend, though, he did throw out some important picks. He had the Treasury Secretary, that Scott Bessent guy, I think, and obviously the economy was a big issue, so that's an important role. But he also put out a number of people that are going to be in the health fields. So, like Marty McCary is going to be the going to head up the FDA. And I think you were saying before,
It's like
you think we're
Johns
going to have
Hopkins
Johns Hopkins guy. He's written a couple good books on healthcare costs. But FDA is important. You were saying you think we're going to have a lot of in the news segments on food and be reevaluating what we're eating.
Apparently, that's going to be like the headline topic, I think, in the next, at least near future. We're talking about food in a way we really weren't talking about before.
Yeah.
Much thanks to RFK, but I think other people are wanting to discuss this topic from a nutritional standpoint. What's interesting is you may remember from the Obama administration that Michelle Obama was passionate about this particular topic, but it didn't gain a lot of traction, I don't think, on the popular level back then like it is today. So you might remember there was like a banning of a certain large soft drink somewhere at like a restaurant or in New York City maybe. Like you couldn't get a large whatever.
Coke? Well,
Was it Coke?
Bloomberg, wanted to ban Coke. I think it was the mayor of New York.
And that was like very controversial back then because they weren't thinking of it more like from a public health nutritional standpoint.
Yeah.
They were thinking of it as like a freedom issue. Like, why would you be infringing upon our freedoms and not letting us buy large
to drink
Cokes?
our 30-ounce Coke?
Yeah, that's the frame of that issue back then. What was that, like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Today,
probably.
I think
maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think today we're talking about it differently.
Yeah, and
And
this is
I
obviously
think we're going to keep talking about it.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is probably going to be the Health and Human Services Secretary.
Mm-hmm.
This has been like one of his major issues about the food. But I was reading a really good article recently about how if you compare the food in the United States to places like Europe, our food is very different, and it's probably going to be an important topic. And if I were to throw in a Christian worldview spin on this, I think one of the things we talk about very little is how we treat our bodies. When was the last time you heard a sermon about how you should take care of the temple of God's creation that he's given to you? Ever heard a sermon on that?
That's when the pastor moves from preaching to meddling, right? So
yeah.
I don't think many preachers are going into the theology of the physical body in that way. Although it's important. I mean,
Yeah.
this one little body that I have, this is my power pack that I'm supposed to use to serve God and his kingdom. So I should treat this properly as the temple of God. So I think that's an important topic that maybe we should hear more about. The Bible is not silent about the creation of the physical body and the importance of even things like nutrition. The Old Testament actually had laws about that. And, since the New Testament says all foods are declared clean, we sort of like act like we don't have to worry about it at all or something, but that's not really accurate. So I think it's important to focus on the physical. God created our bodies and they were very good. So there's a future for our bodies. We're going to be resurrected again. I don't think we want to be Gnostical and think, we're just worried about flying off to heaven with our spirits. I think we need to be remembering that God created this physical world good, and he's about redeeming and restoring this physical world. And that includes things like, taking care
We're
of our
talking about
bodies.
the second coming and the millennium
Physically.
coming up here in a couple weeks. Hey,
I don't think we could have timed this better.
There we go.
Those of you guys who celebrate Advent, Advent is not about Christmas. Advent is about the second coming of Jesus, that he's going to come again. And so it's a way of preparing ourselves for the coming of Christ, to ready the way that he came once and he will return. And then the culmination of Advent begins the Christmas season, the 12 days of Christmas, and that part of the calendar. But here we are starting Advent. Maybe this will be the only time in my entire pastoral career where we get to start Advent with an expositional message from Revelation chapter 19 and the glorious coming of Christ. So that's kind of neat. The time, it's almost like we thought about that.
let's be that church. Hey, before we
The
move
thing about let's be that church, am I not allowed to use that anymore, Tim?
No,
Is that
no.
now officially a
I think Bob's trying to steal it
punchline?
from you.
Is
Is what
that
I think is happening. I think he's trying to.
Okay. Well, you
Steal
say
it.
nobody can say it other than you?
No. I'm just saying maybe that's
Actually, you forced me to. You were like, "Hey, it'd be a great idea if you say it right here in the message
Oh
yesterday."
man,
no,
are
you
giving
can
away your
say it.
secrets?
What I'm trying to say is, did we ruin it?
Are we over? Well,
No.
okay.
Is it still
All right.
okay to end the sermon that way? Or
I thought
I think we'd lose members if you stopped saying it.
oh,
that's true. Hey, I thought of another tagline, but before we move off of this, so rather than "Let's be that church," our logo is the tree. See right here, I'm wearing the logo right here. Yeah, I thought maybe another one. I don't know if it'll catch on, but we can just end every sermon with "Be the tree." You got to be the tree.
okay.
Okay,
Audience, you let
he's-
us know what you
he's-
think in the
he's
comments.
Skeptical about it. All right, hey, moving on. Before we move on from the food thing, so
I think we found the
there was
title
a
of the video today.
Babylon Bee tweet about the food issue, and this was the Babylon. The Babylon Bee is a satirical, Christian satirical news site. So this was their headline they put out there.
Sometimes the satire seems dangerously close
yeah.
to reality.
So that's true. Fattest, sickest country on earth concerned new health secretary might do something different. So there you go.
That's us.
There you go. All right. And maybe thus ends the In the News segment,
Do we have
unless
to
anybody
do
else...
this on the Monday before the biggest gorging holiday of the year?
We'll come back to this and
Should have
see how it
started
is
this
later
next
on.
Monday.
Yeah, there it is.
Wait, one more news story. We have an important professional hockey announcement. So there was a local.
Are we still
that
doing this?
We
All
wanted
right.
to highlight.
It's not a PSA, it's a PHA. Professional hockey announcement.
Yeah. So we heard about a New Jersey person that's kind of moving up the ranks. Tim, what's going on?
Yeah, I feel like we might have talked about this guy before, Noah, on a previous episode when he made his debut. But local New Jersey Basking Ridge resident. Noah used to play golf with him. He was in my Woods class at Ridge, played for Ridge High School, is making his... He plays in the National Hockey League for the Nashville Predators, and he is making his homecoming tonight or tomorrow, or Monday night, November 25th, against the New Jersey Devils here in his home state. So kind of cool homecoming story for one of our own here in Basking Ridge.
Very cool. So we got professional
beat him,
sports. We got health consciousness. Bob's got his bottle of water there. Tim, you got a bottle of water. Look, everyone has a bottle of water except for me. I'm doing LaCroix here today. I must be the only one not really being
So
hydrated.
fancy.
Got to hydrate, Pastor Dave.
But I have a question for you guys. What's the maximum
What is
size?
pamplemousse? What is that?
Pamplemousse, it's grapefruit in French.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I had no problem understanding what was going on in Paul's slideshow yesterday.
Wow.
Nice. Well, I have a question for you guys. What's the maximum size water bottle that's socially acceptable at, like, if you go to the gym or somewhere in public? Have you seen these things?
I'm going to wager.
People are carrying.
I'm going to say this.
This thing looks like something you would put on the jug in the water cooler area.
This should be a different segment.
I think this
Pastor
is a good
Dave rant.
size. I think
like, is there an ounce limit? Because like
society has shifted to those Stanley cups,
and they're huge.
I think anything bigger than that is a little much.
If you need two hands to carry your water bottle around, it's not. That's not portable.
when I was in high school on the track team at Ridge, my coach the one season was getting really onto us about hydrating. So I had a water bottle that was probably double the size.
Hydrate!
And I went to the bathroom so many times during the school day, my senior year.
I guess it's a good workout to like lift up 64 ounces.
I gotta flush. I gotta
Pick
flush
things
it out.
up and put them down.
All right, we're getting off track here.
That was very good, Tim. That was awesome.
I missed that.
Noah, segue us into a different segment here. We're getting off track.
What's next?
Book war.
All right,
Book war.
next
You
up
wanna
we have
invent
a
the
battle
books.
coming up, and it's the Battle of the Book War.
Look at that scoreboard.
Look at that beautiful scoreboard.
So
up
much
there. It's
winning.
so
I
good.
switched some of the fonts and
So
Noah's
much
favorite, just the crisp yellow to accent it in there.
I see. What was it before? Was it just white?
It was all white.
Tim.
No, this makes it pop. I'm sorry.
I do believe it's a chart.
Is that a chart?
Definitely.
Okay. If you had to grade that chart, what would you give it?
That's like an A+, man. That's
Ah.
clear. Like, it's got different font sizes. It's got colors that make sense.
Okay.
It's attractive. Blue, yellow, and white are a good combo.
That's wonderful.
I feel like I'm watching Penn State or
It's the
something.
Nashville Predators colors.
All right, well, I like it because it's got the right score up there. So let's see. Let's see. All right. So do you want to go first? You gotta we'll do
All
a
right.
coin flip first or second.
It's
You can choose.
I believe it's Pastor Dave first. Who
All
went?
right.
No, who went first
I
last
think
week?
I went first last
All
time.
right, Bob goes first.
Okay. All right, Dave. So, speaking of, we're finishing up Revelation. We have 4 more weeks that are going to coincide with Advent. You're going to be doing the Second Coming this Sunday, and then the Sunday after that, I'm going to be doing the Millennium, Revelation 20. And so, if you joined us for our Underground Sessions event back in October, you know there's 4 major millennial views that we covered, but there's more. There's more. People have come up with other things, and one of the other ones that have come up that I find very interesting is this thing called New Creation Millennialism. So there is a book written by J. Webb Mealy on New Creation Millennialism, and the thesis behind this is basically that the millennium is the first stage of the new creation. So there's not this like separate millennial thing. It's just the millennium is here, and then it's kind of progressively revealing itself. So this is a little bit more of a technical book, but I find it very, very interesting, and I'm going to be rereading it over the course of the week in preparation for that sermon. So if you're interested in a different millennial view, I'll put out there New Creation Millennialism.
Is it fair to say Dr. Tom Schreiner?
Oh, yeah,
ascribes
sorry.
to that view?
Dr. Tom Schreiner, who's written the Big Baker exegetical commentary on Revelation, also holds that view. So he's got if you don't want to read the whole book, he's got a shorter section in his commentary on, I think, 11 or 12 reasons why it's compelling.
I'd be curious to see what he does with like Isaiah 65 and this death issue. Someone's 100 years old and they're considered a little child if they die at that age. I wonder if that is treated in that text. I wonder if that's an interesting book. Let me know what you say.
Anyway, so this guy...
Could you like summarize it, condense it so I don't have to read it? Could you give me like a paragraph when you're done?
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
He doesn't even want to read your book.
Yeah. Cliff notes.
Well, yeah, and then maybe I can put out, here's the Cliff Notes version if you want it, if you don't want to read the book. So, but there you go. That's my entry for this week.
It's a good one. All right, I'm putting the computer laptop cover down for this one.
Who are
All
we
right,
trying to convince this week? We're trying to convince
This
Noah?
is Noah.
All right,
Okay.
so this week we have a published book by the Millington Baptist Church Press. It's called An Advent Devotional from the Gospel of Luke, based on our series To Save the World, which we went through last Christmas. This was the first act of our expositional series through Luke, and we have compiled the devotionals that you submitted into this book to help you celebrate Advent during your quiet times during the month of December. The devotionals start on December 1st, and they lead you all the way up to Christmas with a bonus devotional after Christmas is over about the greatest Christmas that's yet to come. You'll have to read it to figure out what that is about. And it starts with an introduction called The Greatest Story Ever Told, and a good Fred Rogers quote, which says, "I like to compare the holiday season with the way a child listens to a favorite story. The pleasure is in the familiar way the story begins, the anticipation of familiar turns it takes, the familiar moments of suspense, and the familiar climax and ending." So, all great stories are worth hearing again and again and again. And nothing takes the cake quite like the Christmas story. So
I noticed the dramatic reading that you had there.
There's a
I should have
lot of-
recommended the Polar Express today to counteract your...
We're on a Christmas theme here. So this is a book that's available for free. We have them here at church. We distributed them yesterday.
Does this count if you're giving it away for free? He's got...
The price is right, guys.
All is fair
That's
in
all
love
I'm
and
saying. We do have more copies. If you weren't present at our congregational worship time yesterday, those are available for you. The back cover is a blurb that's written by Tim Eucas himself.
Whoa!
This is part of the script. You may not remember.
I didn't know this.
asked- yes, you did.
Did you
I
know?
asked you
My goodness.
for the script so that I could use it.
I didn't know you were using it on the back of the
Tim's
book.
got the royalties off of the free book.
I can't do it in Tim's voice, but do you remember these words? Have you ever lost something precious? Perhaps a loved one, a wedding ring, or even your career?
That's actually pretty good
Okay, so that's Tim.
to save the
And
world.
we've got
how
a lot of
about
NBC people have contributed to the different devotionals. We have Stella Strain here. We have Kathy Wilford, who's also a published author.
Whoa.
We have
Big time.
Dave Cother submitted a few. Pastor Craig Schill in Dallas, a friend of mine, contributed a chapter. I did some of the chapters. I think you'll enjoy it. It's got some really good stuff in here. They're short. It's just a way to sit down for
Bite-sized.
5 minutes every morning during December and just think about the greatest story ever told, Christmas, the coming of Christ. So there you go. There's my book recommendation.
All right.
I do want to say that Noah did give me a little help when we were writing that first. Was that the first one, like the very first
Oh, I see.
block of video? Noah
I
and
see.
he sat down with me for
Boom.
that one. All right, you guys ready? Noah's made his decision.
Yes. Finally. Put some points on the board today.
Well, maybe you should offer all your books for free and see what
That's
happens.
the way to do it. It's all about the price, man. People think with their wallets.
For those
It's
listening
an
online,
economical
Pastor
thing.
Dave has cut the lead in half. It is now 3-2. Pastor Bob still has
We
the
got a
advantage.
game.
see
We
if
got
it's
a
gonna
game
turn
now.
into
We
the-
got a game going now.
2003 Yankees or 2004 Red Sox. We'll see what happens.
All right.
You got to come all the way back and see if you can win. Best out of 7.
We're doing this best out of 7?
All right.
We're
We're only going to recommend 7. Well,
we just
we'll
keep
get
this
to
running.
7 and keep going.
Challenge
Let's
accepted.
keep running.
go.
I
All
thought
right.
like first to 100.
Okay, we'll see how long it goes. All right. So, Pastor Dave, now we're at the time. I assume there's no questions out there, but now at that time where we're going to be talking a little bit about the sermon. Yesterday, though, we did our annual vision message, and we covered a lot of stuff. We tried to tie in some Revelation themes, but we're super excited about what God's going to be doing here in 2025. And so, Pastor Dave, I might ask you, what was your biggest takeaway from the message yesterday? From my part, and then maybe I'll give you my biggest takeaway from your part, and then we can talk about what we're excited about.
Okay. Biggest takeaway was, I been really excited about this idea of becoming a Colson Fellow affiliate
There we go.
location that
There
you
we
had.
go.
So that was really exciting to hear you talk about that. And, you've been through the program yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like that old commercial from the 80s, he's not only the hair club president, he's also a client, right? He's been through the stuff, and he's going, hey, let me give back to Millington. And we're looking for 10, right? 10.
I'm praying for
back
10,
to
but if we go more than 10, that's okay. It's going to be so.
Right.
It's 9 months. We go through it. We're going to cover all kinds of worldview topics. I can guarantee that you'll be a more formed disciple. And then if you go through it, there's also a big commissioning. We'll do a local commissioning here, but if you want, we're going to try to get as many people as we can to go to the national conference that year. I did find out it's going to be in Knoxville, Tennessee. This year it's going to be in Louisville. The year after that this class would go to be in Knoxville, Tennessee. And you walk across the stage, you shake hands with John Stonestreet. It's pretty cool.
Wow. So that was what stuck out to me. What stuck out to you?
All right, from your side, let's see. I think the grief share thing is going to be pretty cool. I think that's especially around Christmas time. This is the time of the year where if somebody has passed away recently, even in the last couple of years, that you really feel the absence of somebody that you love. And so I think something like grief share is going to be a big felt need. But dealing with loss is hard, and so I think that's going to be a wonderful addition to your repertoire. In addition to our new staff member, Amy Huber, I think that was pretty exciting reveal. It was like the Apple Store opening up the next version of the iPhone, bringing her on stage there.
It's so cool.
He's speechless. He can't even say anything.
The Lord really answered our prayers here. I feel really excited about Amy coming on staff.
She's
January
been on Behind
1st.
the Pulpit. Maybe she'll be a regular guest on Behind the Pulpit now.
You're welcome
now that we're paying her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be cool. So we got some really cool things coming up.
We do. All right. So if people want to know more about it, where should they go if they missed the sermon yesterday? Mm-hmm. We also had 3 interviews. So you interviewed Amy about her new position. I talked with Paul Wilford and Delia Kang about Senegal and Contend, respectively. So that was exciting. I thought they did a good job.
Right.
But where can people go to find out more about what's going on?
We have a giving page dedicated to our 2025 vision. We would encourage you to go there. And what you're going to find there is Bob and I put together a video. And I thought it would be fun to kind of insert the video here. Would that be all right with you if we just said, hey, here's what we talked about in terms of the initiatives for 2025?
I think it's great. Tim, what do you think? You think we can do that? What's your feelings on the video insert?
Let's put it in right now.
Hey there, MBC. So glad that you're joining our Vision page. Pastor Bob and Pastor Dave here. We are just so honored to be your pastors, and we're coming to the end of the year. Each year we do a wonderful Vision message, and we're going to outline for you the different buckets that we have identified to build God's kingdom here at MBC this year. Thank you so much for your generous giving. It helps us to accomplish the vision of MBC, which is to be a church that is firmly planted, growing together, and made to multiply. To accomplish that this year, we have identified a number of strategic initiatives, and we're going to talk about those right now.
So 2025 is going to be an incredible year. The first thing we want to talk about is expanding our operations and our ministry. We are so excited to be bringing on staff a new director of discipleship and connections. We're really excited about that. We will reveal that to you guys. Well, we can go ahead and say it right now, right?
Probably you're going to be watching this. You'll have already seen it.
Yeah, her name is Amy Huber. We're very excited to be bringing her on staff. Now, that means there's 2 Amy Hubers on staff, which can get a little confusing. They do spell their name Amy a little differently, but we're excited about expanding our operations. We also want to expand our summer internship program. We had a great program last summer.
We did.
We think that we can even do more this summer by equipping young people to serve the Lord here. We also want to let you know that we have improved our MBC app. And so if you haven't downloaded that lately or updated your app lately, what you're going to notice is we have all kinds of new features that will help in terms of you getting connected at MBC. You're going to see a people segment there. You're going to see a group segment there. You're going to see an event segment there. And there's ways to interact in our app that we're really excited about. And then lastly, we have created for you hard copy devotional books for this Advent. And a lot of you were part of this initiative last December where we were putting together Christmas devotions based on our series through the Gospel of Luke. We have combined all of those and we have put them together in a very special Advent devotional that we're really excited to be distributing to you during this Vision campaign. So that is item number one. What else is going on, Pastor Bob?
Number two, we're talking about local compassion. We love our local ministries that are happening. One of those ministries is City Relief. And so you've probably been hearing us announce that we're going to be having a big packing party on December the 14th. We're going to be packing up hygiene kits that's going to go out to serve the people on the streets in the New York, New Jersey metro area. We're also going to be giving them a special gift this year to help fund a new outreach director for their Newark location. So the Newark location has been on hiatus. They want to kick that back off, and they need to staff that. So we're going to be helping them staff that new Newark location this year. Also, we're going to be starting a new Grief Share ministry. That's one of our goals for this year. So your giving will help us help people that are going through hard times.
Number three, we are in the middle of a very exciting 30-year campaign to expand our footprint here on 520 King George Road. This past year, a contiguous property came up for sale, and we were able to purchase that property. And now we are in the middle of renovating that property and getting that ready. And so our financial commitment is to prepare that particular residence to be ready to be rented out for now, but eventually our desire is to actually expand the campus. And so part of our financial giving campaign will be to covenant back to the church in order to financially steward that resource to basically fund the ability to renovate that property and get that on the market. So we're excited about that. And we're also expanding our ability to manage our facilities here at MBC as well. So next year, you're going to see there's going to be a new group that's helping us manage our facilities called K&M Maintenance, and we're excited to partner with them. But we think that will be a big improvement in terms of our campus and our sort of brick and mortar campaign. So please help us get those items funded. We're excited about all God's doing to grow MBC. So what else?
The fourth bucket that you'll see outlined on the page below us is our Next Generation bucket, and we do love the Next Generation here at MBC. One of the things that we're going to be doing is expanding our Radical Mentoring Program, which has just been done to great effect over the last couple of years. We want to try to incorporate younger people into that in the coming years, so that's going to be very, very exciting. And then also our Young Adult Ministry is expanding. We have more people coming in for that, and so we want to give them some more funding to help with that ministry, as well as sending them back to the Passion Conference, which has been an exciting event that has happened year over year. So Next Generation, you're going to help us reach those that are younger than us.
The fifth thing that we're passionate about here in 2025 is global missions. Remember, firmly planted, growing together, made to multiply. And under that made to multiply segment, we want to re-emphasize our commitment to Senegal. We actually just sent out a team to go to Senegal, and we're going to get to hear from them on our Vision Sunday. So we're excited to see all that God is continuing to do in our strategic partnership in Senegal. We have a couple special project ideas to talk to you about, and we'll share more details about that soon. And this year, we had a very exciting youth missions trip this summer. Next year in 2025, we also want to take another missions trip with our youth group. So we're looking to help with the funding in our global missions projects, including all of our global partners or world partners, but also a strategic focus in Senegal and supporting our teens as they go on their next mission trip. What else?
All right, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, you'll see that our final bucket is our evangelism bucket. We do have a heart to see the gospel proclaimed, to engage the world with the truth of Jesus Christ. And so there's two exciting things that we're launching this year that's going to help us accomplish that. The first one, which you've been hearing about, is our Contend Conference. This is the second time we're doing this. The first one was a huge success, and so your giving is helping us to fund that this year. We're going to have Elisa Childers as our keynote speaker, as well as Neil Shenby, Jason Thacker, and others. That's going to help us think about how do we engage the world with the gospel of Jesus Christ. Our theme is Resist the Drift, and so we want to be people who are biblically grounded and faithful to the gospel of Christ in a challenging time. And then along with that, we're going to be launching a Colson Fellows affiliate program here at MBC next summer. I'm praying for 10 people who are going to be a part of that, and that is a 10-month worldview training program that's going to help you to think Christianly about all of life. And so if we can have at least 10 people that are part of that program, they can then go out and be impacting not only our church, but those around them on how to engage the world with the gospel of Christ.
Hey, that's just scratching the surface of all God is doing here at MBC. We hope that you are starting to feel excited alongside of us. We believe that God is at work. We have a candle here on 520 King George Road, and we want to shine the light of Christ in our community. Yeah. So what we're asking you to do is simply pray. We're asking you to think about this and pray about how God is calling you to financially support the ministry of MBC as you consider your own year-end giving. On this webpage, you're going to find at the bottom there's a Give button. Simply click that Give button, and you can easily support our ministry and all God is doing. We hope that you'll prayerfully consider that. We would count it an honor to partner with you in continuing to grow God's kingdom here with a church full of disciples of Jesus who are firmly planted, growing together, and made to multiply. God bless you guys. So that gives you a good snapshot of all that we're up to here in 2025. It's going to be a great year.
We don't even need to say anything.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. Tim, let me ask you, what was your favorite thing about Vision? You were up there posting things on social media. People were commenting on it. It was all the rage yesterday during the service.
Yeah, I specifically am very excited for the Colson Fellows program. That's something that I'm planning on doing. So if you guys want to hang out with me,
first recruit, there we go.
Come do it as well. Contend, I'm very excited for. I'm excited for everything. It's really, I think we do a great job of having a little bit of everything here at Millington. No, I was hoping for some pickleball expansion, maybe some stadium seating and some new floodlights.
Well, we did.
Maybe
We added
year.
courts from last year. We talked about that last year. And Pastor Dave and I played pickleball on stage last year.
That's true.
So I was thinking about having a lightsaber battle this year, but Pastor Dave said no.
He used the Death Star reference
He
instead.
did use the Death Star reference.
And
That was
also,
for you.
you can go back if you were watching this or listening to this online. The sermon is already up, so you can go onto wherever you're listening to this podcast. It's also there. You type in MBC Millington Baptist Church sermons, you can find it. Or if you're on YouTube, you're already on the channel. You can find it there. It's actually right there. You go. There it is.
There it is.
Right there.
What are we going to do for a short this week? We got to give Noah something to work with.
How about you taking selfies? Might have gotten onto the camera. You could. that might be a good short.
We should say that Vision Sunday was a group effort. So
Tim made videos.
Tim had a huge hand in a lot of the production there.
He got all the candles.
That was a big deal.
Clutch.
And beforehand, Noah actually helped a lot with putting together our Vision page and making sure that was ready. Beforehand, Mark D'Augusto also did some setup work behind the scenes getting that ready. Then there was just a lot of volunteers and people helping making Vision Sunday a success. This is really a collective, collaborative vision that we as the church came up with together. So elders, staff, and congregation. This is our vision.
We got feedback on the buckets.
We got feedback. We had critical feedback. Some things didn't make it. We're excited about what did make it, and we're pumped about next year because we feel like God speaks in community. This is our church. I think my heart as one of the pastors here is that some of us who are like attending Millington Baptist Church would start this year referring to it not as, hey, you guys and what you're doing is really great, but start referring to it as like this first person plural. What we're doing is great. Our church is really up to something great. Let us be that church, right? So we together are the body that are making this happen.
The hortatory subjunctive, is that what it is? The
very good.
Let us.
Wow, your Greek
grammatical.
is
My
still
goodness.
pretty
us,
sharp.
Let us be that church.
Let us be that church.
People were loving the Be That Church, Pastor Dave. They were digging it yesterday.
Maybe I've overdone that.
I said about the 1,000 kits, and you throw. They love that. That was great. All right.
We're getting there.
We are.
The donations for City
They
Relief
are coming in. They're coming
rolling in.
I think we're probably have enough for about 500 kits, and we'll see where we go. Can we double it? Can we do 1,000? Your eyes are blinking over there.
I was trying to do math real quick.
Bob really wants 1,000 guys.
I want to say we got 1,000. Be great. All right. Okay, anything else on the vision you guys want to comment on?
Know anything else on the vision? Nope.
I like Paul Wilford came behind you and lit your candle that went out.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to come behind your brother and like make sure the candle's still glowing.
That's right.
There's a lesson.
Got to make
there.
sure your lampstand is still on fire.
Right.
There you go. All right. I think we come to the theology sprint part.
By the
so
way,
maybe...
shout out to Band of Brothers. Thursday night in the rain, Tim and Johnny are out there grilling burgers. It's pouring wet, cold rain. I think there was flurries. Those guys are just like not going to stop me.
we needed the rain.
We did.
But it didn't stop the grill.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you.
That was the best Bubba burger I've ever had in my life.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. A lot of our Band of Brothers members hadn't experienced the Bubba Burger before, so
first time.
I'll tell you what, man. We had all this drought, and not a smell, not even a sniff of rain. And then when it comes to our first ever Beefsgiving, boom, it's in the forecast. And I texted the Band of Brothers, and I said, well, I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking we're not grilling meats tonight, and I'm saying you're wrong. So we went out there in the rain, in the wind. Thank you, Art Gall, who let us use his little Milwaukee light. We grilled him up. We were able to enjoy some fellowship. Accidentally interrupted the finance team meeting when I connected to the wrong TV. Went through some Colossians. It was a good time.
What, did Band of Brothers pop up on your screen while you guys were meeting?
Yeah, they were like simultaneously trying to change the input on our TV, and we actually had the auditor like
I didn't think the TV
remoting
in
from Ohio. So all of a sudden the auditor's gone. We're like, a Band of Brothers is switching the channel.
I didn't realize the TV in that room can be connected to via phone.
Wow.
You can cast to it. So I just assumed this
Right.
newer TV that we had in the other room could.
Right.
And then Christy busts through the door and she's like, guys, I'm like, no. So apologies to the finance team. Hopefully that the burger cut up into 8 pieces made up for that.
Their meeting went 3.5 hours, and maybe we can blame the Band of Brothers for that.
Somehow we kept hearing the audio of he was talking, the auditor was talking, but we just lost the video. I don't know how that works, but it was okay.
All right. Can we do the theology sprint now?
Let's do it.
Noah's over there with bated breath waiting to ask us a
I've
question.
been waiting for weeks.
Yeah.
He's been holding this in for a long time. It's about to get real.
Noah, welcome back from vacation.
Where'd you go on vacation, Noah? Where were you?
I went to Ohio for a couple days.
Did you meet our auditor out in Ohio?
I didn't.
Give me his address for next time you go.
Yeah, I went to Ohio for a couple days and then back to Liberty University for a couple days.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was fun.
LU. Lou.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Liberty
Speaking
University
of
love
flames.
around here. You know, Amy Huber went to Liberty.
I did not know that.
The new Amy Huber.
Wow.
All over Virginia. Virginia Tech, Liberty, all over the place.
What do we call her?
I'm sorry, Amy.
Amber?
I know you're Amy.
I was
Amy
gonna.
2.
It's other.
I was gonna suggest Amy 2.0, but maybe that would be insulting.
Yeah. We got to figure this out, guys. I don't know. Amy with an I. Amy with a Y.
Amy with an.
I don't know.
Anyway.
All right, Noah.
All right. So this week's Theology Sprint question is, was the earth created in 7 literal days?
Wow, that's quite a Thanksgiving question right there for you, Pastor Dave. Well, you want to go?
It's either way, man.
All right. There's different views on this. I think the two predominant ones are what's called the young Earth and the old Earth. Young Earth people would say that yes, the Earth was created in 6 literal 24-hour days. And there's different reasons for that. The old Earth people would say no, it wasn't literally 7 24-hour days. They were periods of time that happened over maybe longer periods of time. The Hebrew word for day is the word yom, which can be translated, this kind of a loose translation there. It can be translated as a longer period of time. So I think this isn't something we should divide over. There's different views on this, but there's a difference of opinion on how long it took to create the Earth.
It's a good summary.
What would you add to that? That was my quick and dirty summary.
Yeah. If you do want like a fuller answer to that question, we did a series on apologetics a number of years ago called Belief in the Age of Skepticism, and we talked about the 12 most difficult questions Christians get asked. And so we dedicated an entire week on the creation question. And so maybe we can link that, but that sermon is available on YouTube.
Yeah. And there's other views, but those are probably the two prominent views. Yeah. Is that satisfactory, Noah, or do you want more?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It's a sprint, right?
Yes.
All right. So, should we announce anything? I mean, we had a big announcement thing yesterday.
No.
All right. Well, then, thanks for joining us for Behind the Pulpit. We hope you have a great Thanksgiving this week. And make sure you stay hydrated. And, if you want to get a bigger, water bottle, please do so.
Thank you, guys. Hope you have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. And sorry for the crash landing here. We love you all. Thank you for your viewership. And we'll see you next time on Behind the Pulpit.
Like and subscribe.